Not all of our minisodes need to be from listeners. In fact, places or lesser-known cases can sometimes take us to dark realms.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your first edition for Season 23 of Dark Realms. Now yes, you'll have noticed there is no difference to the music for Dark Realms, no changes whatsoever, because any changes are going to be incremental. We've got a new logo, we've got new music for the main show, but for now, the minisodes, etc. Dark Realms, they're going to remain just how you know them. Now, because we made the decision to not overwhelm your feed, as you know, we've made Dark Realms bi-weekly. Now, because of that, as our Patreons already know, we've decided that this season's Dark Realms, with the exception of today's episode, we'll be taking a look at some famous people in the dark realm of the paranormal. And I hope you enjoy those episodes, because I certainly did whilst looking at them, finding out things about famous people I certainly didn't know. But right now, we are going to look at an infamous dark realm, and when I say infamous, one that literally sickened me, both in a terrifying paranormal and in a real-life human way. I've just returned, as you know. There was a few issues with my house when I returned from holiday. I was lucky enough to go on a little bit of a Caribbean adventure, and whilst there, decided our first Dark Realm would be based in that region. So please join me as we begin our first Dark Realm, which is a look at the infamous Rose Hall Great House in Jamaica. On a lush hill overlooking the Caribbean Sea, Rose Hall Great House stands as one of Jamaica's most beautiful and most feared historic mansions. By day, it's a restored Georgian estate with 365 windows, 52 doors and 12 bedrooms. It's a symbol of 18th century wealth built in the 1770s. By night, it becomes something else entirely. Its walls, once soaked in cruelty, betrayal, and the suffering during the era of slavery, are said to hold echoes of unspeakable pain. Legend insists that the misery endured here has left an indelible stain, one that continues to manifest as the restless spirits go roaming the halls. When the original owners passed, Rose Hall fell under the control of Annie Palmer in the early 1800s. Legend claims she was raised in Haiti and allegedly tutored in the dark arts by a voodoo priestess. Annie married John Palmer, and once she decided he'd served his purpose, she poisoned him. She then took 2 more husbands in relatively quick succession, only to murder each one in turn. In an era when plantation life was already so brutal, Annie's sadism knew no bounds. Servants whispered that she practiced obeah, voodoo magic, and that she delighted in torture. In fact, Annie's reign of terror earned her the nickname the Witch of Rose Hall. Although Annie was trained indeed in black magic, she knew very little of karma, but she became a very short-lived expert in it when her life ended violently in 1831. Her abused, enslaved servants revolted. According to legend, the uprising was led by Taku, an obeah practitioner himself, and, as it happens, a former lover of Annie. Taku's granddaughter had apparently been cursed to death by the White Witch. One moonless night, Taku slipped into Rose Hall by way of a hidden underground passage and confronted Annie in her luxurious bedroom. In a struggle of magic and muscle, Taku strangled Annie Palmer on her silken bed, finally silencing the White Witch. Yet that victory came at a price, as one of Annie's overseers burst in and killed Taku moments after Annie's last breath. Shaken and fearful even in triumph, the remaining slaves dragged Annie's body to a grave on the estate grounds. They buried her in what they swore was the deepest hole they could dig, and they burnt all her personal belongings, dresses, dolls, even diaries, hoping to destroy any lingering evil that was tied to her. A voodoo ritual was performed to seal her spirit in the tomb forever. But, as whispers go, the ritual was either bungled or left incomplete, maybe out of fear or haste. A simple single stone tomb was built and 3 crosses were carved into its surface. Only 3. Superstition holds that without a 4th side marked, the White Witch's spirit was free to slip out of her grave. And apparently, slip out it did. Because if the legends are true, Annie Palmer's ghost was free to haunt Rose Hall, and it's done so ever since with terrifying abandon. What followed was abandonment, decay, and fear. For over a century, attempts to occupy or repurpose Rose Hall failed, amidst reports of supernatural activity. Though finally restored in the 1960s and now open to visitors, the house is still very much believed to be haunted. And 3 spirits in particular dominate this terrifying area. Arguably the most tragic haunting is said to linger beneath Rose Hall, a place of suffering that left a psychic scar on the property. In the days of Annie Palmer's rule, the basement of the Great House, also known as the Dungeon, served as her personal torture chamber. Down a sleek set of stone steps, beneath the elegant drawing rooms, lies a windowless cellar that once echoed with screams. Here, enslaved men and women and children were chained, subject to unspeakable acts, solely for Annie's amusement. Some were just left to rot. Some were given no food nor water. And it said Annie would even stand on her upstairs balcony after sending one of her people to remand those unfortunate enough to be trapped at the hall. From that balcony, she would watch the slaves being punished in the courtyard below, smiling coldly at their agony. Visitors and staff alike have reported eerie encounters in the dungeon area, now a tavern, aptly named Annie's Pub. In the silence beneath the house, you may suddenly feel a chill breeze where no wind blows, or hear the faint sound of chains clanking against stone. Some have described hearing phantom footsteps pacing on the old mahogany floors above, when no living person is there. But one especially chilling phenomena involves whistling. Because enslaved servants were forced to whistle whilst working, to prove to Annie they weren't stealing food. Tour groups have reported hearing a soft, mournful whistle drift through the empty corridors. One witness recalls, "We all heard it, whistling in the hallway when there was no one around." It's genuinely both horrific and truly saddening that hearing something as simple as a tune serves as a quiet reminder of the suffering endured and the spirits that still do.
Personally, investing felt like something I'd get to later. Like a lot of people, I was focused on where my money was right now, not where it could be going. What changed for me was realizing that starting small and staying consistent matters much more than trying to know everything up front. You guys know I've worked with acorns before. I know them well. I know how diligently and ethically they work, and I've just been going through their app, and believe me, I genuinely love how simple it is and how approachable it feels. Acorns is a smart way to give your money a chance to grow without needing a finance degree or hours of your time. You can sign up in minutes and automatically invest spare money, even spare change, and adjust how often you're investing as your life changes. A feature that blew me away on the app is the Acorns Potential screen. It helps you understand the power of compounding over time and makes the idea of long-term investing feel calm, clear, and achievable. Acorns grows with you, supporting your big goals and your small goals. And it keeps everything in the one place so you're not juggling multiple finance apps. If you've been waiting for the right time to start, this is your sign. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join over 14 million all-time customers who've already saved and invested over $27 billion. Head to acorns.com/darkparanormal or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. T2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, and investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/darkparanormal. Today's episode of The Dark Paranormal is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it. So your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Companies and affiliates' potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
More fearsome is the ghost of Taku himself, the very man who killed Annie Palmer. In the decades after, locals spoke of Taku's ghost wandering the estate grounds. Unlike the forsaken moans of other slave spirits, the Obeah man's spectre is said to project an aura of menace and protection at the same time. By some accounts, Taku's shade returned to guard Annie's grave, to ensure the witch's spirit could never rise again. But others fear that Taku's soul, steeped in anger and Obeah magic, cannot find peace and may lash out at anyone who comes too close. Night guards at Rose Hall have occasionally quit after witnessing a tall, shadowy man prowling near the White Witch's tomb in the garden. One quitter states, "I saw a tall figure standing by Annie's grave one night, draped in shadow under the moon. I blinked, he was gone. I mean vanished. I knew in my heart it was Taku, still keeping watch." Visitors on ghost tours sometimes mention the smell of pipe smoke, or a sudden drop in temperature by the tomb. Signs said to herald not the ghost of Annie, but the presence of Taku. A few even claim to hear a deep voice chanting in an unknown language from somewhere amongst the trees. Could it be the Obeah man's spirit, muttering incantations to keep that witch's powers at bay? Or maybe issuing warnings to those who dare disturb the dead? And of course, on Dark Realms, we leave our most terrifying spirit until the end. And who may that be, you ask? Well, of course, it should be no surprise to anyone this space is reserved for a certain White Witch, Annie Palmer herself. If ever a spirit deserved to be called terrifying, it is hers. Annie's ghost is said to stalk the house and its lands relentlessly, a malevolent presence fueled by untold wickedness. Many people over the years have claimed to see Annie's apparition, a woman dressed in a billowing white gown, or sometimes a rich green velvet riding habit, often on horseback. There have been reports from local farmers of a mystery rider, a spectral woman in emerald green atop a huge black horse, galloping silently across the moonlit sugar fields and disappearing at the edge of the estate. However, more commonly, Annie's ghost has been spotted within the house itself. Windows that were boarded up during the ruin years will suddenly reveal a pale female figure peering out. Countless tourists have taken photographs, only to later notice a woman's face fleetingly reflected in a mirror or window behind them. A face no one recalled seeing at the time. Over the years, countless psychic investigators and mediums have attempted to communicate with the White Witch of Rose Hall, and their accounts are thoroughly hair-raising. A famous Irish medium, Eileen Garrett, visited the house one Christmas, in the hopes to contact Annie's spirit. But what she experienced left her shaken. I quote, "Even before entering the house, I was overwhelmed by clairvoyant impressions," Garrett reported. She described an oppressive aura that enveloped her as she approached the front door. She sensed anger, pain, and a deep sadness that radiated from the very walls. During a séance in the Great House, Garrett is said to have suddenly taken on a very different voice, speaking in a cruel, haughty tone that was most sincerely not her own, muttering about blood and betrayal. All of those present believed Annie Palmer herself had seized the medium's body momentarily, eager to speak, or perhaps to choke the life out of the intruders as she had done so many before. Seasoned ghost hunters who have travelled the world constantly rank Rose Hall as one of the most active paranormal sites in the world. Even hardened investigators admit to feeling uneasy there. One team recorded inexplicable EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, of a woman's voice on their audio equipment, and when played back, a chilling whisper can be heard, "Leave my house," in a tone of cold command. It's no surprise many refuse to enter Rose Hall after dusk, and those that do will clutch talismans or say prayers before daring to cross its threshold. The White Witch's tomb itself is another focal point of fear. Sitting in the garden under a fiscus tree and a heavy stone slab marked with mysterious carvings. According to legend, as mentioned earlier, the ritual to bind Annie failed, allowing her ghost free rein. Visitors who dare approach the grave have felt a sharp, strong shove on their backs, turning round expecting to find a friend and seeing thin air. Others have reported seeing a pair of glowing eyes staring out of the foliage or hearing a woman's mocking laughter carried on the wind. Pray for anyone who crosses paths with the White Witch of Rose Hall on a lonely night, for she is known to be hate-filled and dangerous even in the afterlife, arguably equally so as when she was alive, for her rage is eternal. From the anguished enslaved souls below, to the vigilant Taku, to the White Witch herself, Annie Palmer, Rose Hall Great House remains a place where horrific histories and legends of suffering and black magic all twist together like barbed wire, forming somewhere horrific you truly don't want to be when the sun sets. Now, whether these tales are true, folklore, or a mix of the two, that might be for some debate. However, Rose Hall Great House's atmosphere of dread is truly undeniable. Call it stone tape theory or a residual energy leaking from a tortuous place, or even people's minds running amok after hearing the legends before visiting. But I think Jamaica's Rose Hall Great House can be summed up in 4 simple words. 1 terrifying dark realm. Thank you all for joining me on our first Dark Realm of Season 23. We'll be back in 2 weeks when we begin the first of our 4 looks at some of the most influential people in the paranormal field. Some controversial, some not. All with very deeply interesting tales to tell. But until then, stay safe and take care.